Thank you. Thank you. I think the one thing I've learned after studying many other languages is the difference between a native language and a second language. How we acquire our native language and how we learn a second language. I think they're very different. I think they couldn't be any more opposite. We learn our native language from the top down, and we learn a second language from the bottom up. But also my idea of what it is to be a native speaker. I think when we think of a native speaker, we think that person is an expert in the language. But the more I learn about other languages, the more I realize how little I know about my own language. How poorly I'm able to explain it. If you would ask me, even 3 years ago, how many vowels are there in the English language, I would have said about 5. A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, 5 or 6. I see some people nodding. Yeah. Some people are like, okay. Let's take a vote. Show of hands. How many people think there are about 5 vowels in the English language? Okay. Yes. Thank you. And show of hands. How many people think there are more than 5 vowels in the English language? Okay. Yeah. You. And how many people don't give a shit? I'm kidding. There are more than 5 vowels in the English language. Actually, I don't know how many. But that's just the thing. We know that the A in cake makes an A sound. We know that the A in cat makes an A sound. We know the A in car makes an A sound. But we don't necessarily know how many vowels there are in the English language. At least, I didn't know. But it's because I'm a native speaker. And I've only learned this after trying to learn many other languages. I'm still learning Thai. And in the Thai language, there's about 20 vowels. It was a little overwhelming when I started, like, wow, 20 vowels. English only has 5 or 6. But when I look back, I wonder why I found it so difficult. Like, the vowels in Thai are the same as English. I mean, there's exceptions. There's always exceptions. But, I think it's quite comparable. The only difference is that in the Thai language, they write each vowel out. They have a letter for each vowel sound, as opposed to English. We have 5 letters to represent all the different vowel sounds. And it's funny. I saw the similarity in most of the vowels, but there was a few. Like, I treated them like I had never seen them before in my life. And it was ironic because I use them every day. I use them every day in my daily language. But, I'm a native speaker. I didn't make the connection. I didn't hear it. And one of the exceptions is definitely sara'a. I would say that's the A in the English language, because when they Romanize the Thai language, they use the letter A to represent sara'a. And for years, I was mispronouncing this vowel, not only in Thai, but the A in any of the Asian languages I was learning. But I didn't know it. I was probably corrected hundreds and hundreds of times before I actually acquired the correct pronunciation. And even still, I didn't understand. I didn't understand that what I was doing wrong, that I was even doing anything wrong. And it made for some very stressful situations. Like when I was learning Korean, I went to the community center, I took a community class, and the first thing they teach you when you learn Korean is the writing system, Hangul. In every class, my teacher would test everyone on their pronunciation. And it would come to my turn, and so I'd be like, no! A as an apple, my teacher would say. I'd be like, okay, apple. No! A as an apple. I'm like, okay. A as an apple. No! A is an apple. I am saying A is an apple! But that was just the thing. I didn't understand that the way my teacher pronounced that vowel was different from how I was pronouncing it. And, I felt like I was being scolded every class. Like, I really felt awful. It was embarrassing. My teacher, yelling at me. in front of all the other students. I wish I could go back in time with what I know now. And, I tell my teacher, like, the A in your apple is not the A in my apple. But that was just it, I wasn't pronouncing it the same as the A in my teacher's apple. That sounds ridiculous. But it's because I'm a native speaker. But when you're learning, Thai or any of these other Asian languages that I've tried to learn, no one will ever ask you, "Oh, can you pronounce ah?" There's actually another letter you'll always be asked about. It's romanized as ng. It's nga. Oh, whenever I've had a new teacher or whenever I tried to learn another language, I could always expect to be asked this question. Oh, can you pronounce this letter? And it got to the point where I actually dreaded it. It was almost like a trigger for me. When I learned Thai, the teacher asked me, "Oh, can you pronounce ng, nga?" When I learned Vietnamese, can you pronounce this letter, nga? Khmer, nga. Lao, nga. I tried to learn Tagalog, nga. And then one day I decided, I'm gonna try and learn Korean again, because the first time I was unsuccessful. And it was the second class. We were still learning about the writing system, Hangul. And my teacher wrote NG in the chat, and I was like, oh, the teacher's going to ask me if I can pronounce nga. I'm like thinking, like, okay, I'll show him. And then the teacher asked me, like, can you pronounce this letter? I'm like, yeah, nga. He's like, no, Thank you. At least someone knows where I'm coming from. But yeah, after trying to learn all these different languages, I don't know that being a native speaker automatically qualifies you to teach a language. Because I have students, and I can always tell my students, no, this is the correct way how to pronounce it. No, this is correct. This is incorrect. I just can't always explain why. Yeah, I think that's important. But I'm a native speaker. Thank you.